Welcome to another journey through literature.
Today we're diving into Robert Louis Stevenson's classic, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
And we're really zeroing in, aren't we? Focusing specifically on Chapter 5, the one titled Incident of the Letter.
That's right. Our goal here is to really unpack this chapter, give you a solid analysis that works for revision, but also, goes deeper.
It's such a pivotal section. We want to explore all those layers: character, society, Stevenson's narrative tricks, the symbolism.
But exactly, it's not just about what happens, it's about how this chapter pushes the story forward, how it shifts our understanding of, well, everything that's going on. It really ramps up the mystery.
Okay, let's get into it. But first, maybe a quick reminder of where we left off.
Sure.
Chapter 4, the Carew murder case, was intense.
Oh, absolutely. It ended with that horrifying climax. Sir Danvers Carew, a respected MP, brutally murdered.
And murdered by Hyde, with just this shocking lack of provocation.
Yes, and the way he was murdered. Remember the sheer savagery. It wasn't like the trampling incident in Chapter 1, which was awful, but cold. This was different.
How so?
Well, Stevenson describes a storm of blows. Hyde shatters bones with the cane. It's an explosion of violence, unrestrained, almost feral rage.
It shows Hyde escalating, becoming more dangerous.
Definitely. It's a deliberate move by Stevenson to show the true horror Hyde represents. It's not just mischief. It's pure, terrifying brutality.
And then the connection. The murder weapon.
Right, the cane. A distinctive cane which gets traced back directly to Dr. Jekyll.
Which is just chilling. Suddenly, the respectable doctor is linked to this horrific crime.
Exactly. And that leaves Utterson, our sort of moral compass and investigator, deeply troubled. His suspicions about Hyde's hold over Jekyll just explode.
He already thought something was wrong, but this is murder.
Precisely. And then you have the police investigation, Utterson identifying the body, the search of Hyde's rooms in Soho.
Yeah, the ransacked room, the burnt papers. It all felt so desperate, like a hurried escape.
It builds this incredible sense of danger, leaves so many questions hanging. You feel this unease, like something dark is spreading.
So that sets the stage perfectly for Chapter 5, Incident of the Letter. It picks right up from that chaos.
It does, and the focus shifts immediately, directly onto Dr. Jekyll.
And the big question hanging over everything is, what is Jekyll's connection to Hyde, especially now, after this murder? How involved is he?
That's the core mystery driving this chapter and driving Utterson. Is Jekyll just protecting Hyde? Is he being blackmailed? Or is it something else? Something Utterson can't even imagine yet.
This chapter feels like it should give us answers.
Well, it promises them, definitely.
Yeah.
But Stevenson is clever. He doesn't really give clear answers. Instead, he deepens the mystery, pulls you further into the puzzle. It's masterful, really. You think you're getting closer, but the questions just get bigger.
Okay, so let's walk through it. Chapter 5 begins, and Utterson, being Utterson, goes straight to Jekyll's house.
Driven by loyalty, right, and intense worry. He needs to see his friend, especially after the Carew murder. It shows his steadfastness.
He's the lawyer, but also the concerned friend.
Absolutely. And the setting for their meeting is crucial: Jekyll's laboratory.
Not the main house.
No, the lab. And Stevenson describes it so specifically. A large room, fitted round with glass presses, a cheval glass, a business table, dusty windows barred with iron.
Those details feel loaded. The dusty windows barred with iron. It sounds like a prison.
It really does evoke that sense of confinement, secrecy, maybe even imprisonment. Not just physical, but maybe imprisonment of the truth.
And it's such a contrast to the description of Jekyll's main house, which sounds so respectable and open.
Exactly. The lab feels separate, hidden, almost sinister, like a dark secret attached to the respectable facade.
That cheval glass, too, the full-length mirror, that feels significant, especially knowing what's coming.
Oh, definitely. It's a symbol of self-reflection, isn't it? Duality.
Yeah.
Jekyll looking at himself, or maybe his other self. It hangs there, silently observing everything.
It's almost like Stevenson is planting these visual clues for us.
He is. And think about the context. A private laboratory attached to a wealthy gentleman's home. It speaks volumes about the Victorian era.
How so?
Well, there was this huge boom in scientific curiosity, but also a lot of anxiety about where it might lead. Science was often done behind closed doors, sometimes pushing boundaries, bordering on the morally questionable.
Like Lanyon calling Jekyll's work unscientific balderdash. There's a fear there.
Precisely. Fear of science untethered from morality. So the lab itself becomes a symbol of that forbidden knowledge, dangerous ambition, the kind of secrets respectable society preferred to keep hidden. It's the dark underbelly of progress.
Okay, so Utterson enters this charged space, and how does he find Jekyll?
In a terrible state. Stevenson writes he's looking deadly sick. He doesn't even get up to greet Utterson.
Just offers a cold hand.
Yes, and speaks in a changed voice. It's a shocking contrast to the Jekyll we saw earlier, the confident host.
Deadly sick. That's not just feeling unwell, is it? It sounds profound.
It is. It's a physical manifestation of his inner turmoil. The guilt, the terror connected to Hyde's actions. It's literally making him ill.
His body is reflecting his psychological state.
Absolutely. The changed voice suggests his very identity, his normal persona, is weakening, fracturing under the strain. He's suffering the consequences of his experiment.
Stevenson is showing us the internal conflict without spelling it out.
Exactly. It builds suspense. We know something is deeply wrong, far worse than just illness or even simple blackmail. The whole tone is heavy with sickness and dread.
Which leads Utterson to ask that very direct question.
He does. Ever the lawyer, he gets straight to it. You have not been mad enough to hide this fellow.
He still thinks Jekyll might just be protecting Hyde, like out of some misguided sense of loyalty or fear.
That's Utterson's most logical explanation at this point. Hiding a criminal, especially a murderer like Hyde, would be seen as complete madness in Victorian society.
Because reputation was everything.
Everything. To risk your standing, your good name, by associating with someone like Hyde? It was unthinkable. It shows just how far removed Utterson is from guessing the actual terrifying truth. The social implications alone are huge.
And Jekyll's reaction? Is it calm?
Far from it. It's explosive, emotional. He cries out, "Utterson, I swear to God," he swears twice. "I swear to God I will never set eyes on him again."
He sounds desperate.
Totally desperate, he continues. "I bind my honor to you that I am done with him in this world. It is all at an end." He's pleading, using his honor, the most valuable thing to a gentleman, as collateral.
He also says Hyde doesn't need his help. He is safe. He is quite safe. Mark my words, he will never more be heard of.
Yes, which is just dripping with dramatic irony, isn't it? He's trying so hard to convince Utterson and maybe himself that Hyde is gone, dealt with.
But the line, "You do not know him as I do," that hints at something deeper.
It really does. It's a flash of the terrible intimacy between them, the secret knowledge Jekyll possesses. Utterson can't possibly understand the bond or the horror of it. Jekyll sounds frantic, like a man on the verge of collapse.
And the irony of him saying, "I will never set eyes on him again," knowing what we know, or suspect. It's chilling.
It's absolutely chilling. He can't not see him again. Hyde is part of him. So his desperate reassurance becomes this prediction of doom. It's masterful writing by Stevenson, setting up the tragedy.
He's trying to put Utterson's mind at ease, but just makes things feel worse for the reader.
Precisely. And then to try and prove he's telling the truth, to offer some kind of evidence, he produces the letter.
The incident of the letter, he claims it's from Hyde.
Yes, he says Hyde delivered it by hand, and it basically says Hyde is gone for good.
Okay, so that seems convenient. Almost too convenient.
Exactly. It seems like it ties things up neatly. Hyde's vanished, problem solved. But almost immediately, Utterson's lawyer brain starts picking holes in the story.
What's the first red flag?
Jekyll says the letter was hand-delivered, but then admits he burned the envelope.
Why would you do that? The envelope might have clues, a postmark.
Right. Destroying potential evidence is immediately suspicious, especially for a respectable gentleman trying to prove something. It feels clumsy, like he's hiding something.
It undermines his whole story.
Completely. And then Stevenson brings in Poole, the butler.
The ever-reliable Poole.
And Poole confirms very clearly that no messenger came to the house that morning, only circulars in the post.
So Jekyll's story about hand delivery is just a lie.
It appears to be a direct contradiction, a big, gaping hole in his narrative. This sequence really highlights the theme of dishonesty. Jekyll isn't just keeping secrets, he's actively fabricating a story.
Trying to mislead Utterson.
Yes, and it shows how desperate he is. He's resorting to flimsy lies that his sharp lawyer friend sees through almost immediately. It tells you about Jekyll's deteriorating judgment under pressure.
And it shifts the focus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Suddenly, Utterson isn't just worried about Jekyll, he's becoming suspicious of Jekyll.
Absolutely. The mystery deepens. It's not just about Hyde anymore. It's about Jekyll's role in all this. What is he covering up? Why lie so blatantly?
So Utterson has this suspicious letter. What does he do with it?
She takes it back to his office. And being the meticulous person he is, he consults his head clerk, Mr. Guest.
Guest isn't just any clerk, though, right?
No, Stevenson introduces him as having a particular skill. He's a handwriting expert, a student of graphology.
Which is another interesting Victorian detail.
Okay.
Using scientific-seeming methods to solve the mystery.
It grounds the story, makes the investigation feel methodical, rational, even as the events become stranger. It adds this layer of professional expertise.
So Guest looks at the letter, supposedly from Hyde.
Yes. And then, by chance, Utterson also has a dinner invitation from Dr. Jekyll on his desk. Guest compares the two scripts.
Yeah.
And he finds something extraordinary. He says the two handwritings are singularly of the same character. Almost identical.
Wow. Identical.
Well, with one key difference. Hyde's handwriting is slanted the other way.
Slanted the other way. What does that even mean, symbolically?
It's incredibly symbolic, isn't it? Handwriting is often seen as an expression of identity. So the fact that they're the same yet different mirror images almost perfectly represents the Jekyll-Hyde duality.
Two sides of the same coin. One person, two manifestations.
Exactly. It suggests disguise, a deliberate alteration, a twisted reflection. It's the internal division made visible on the page, a massive clue staring Utterson in the face.
This must be a huge moment for Utterson.
It's a seismic shock,
Yeah.
a major turning point. It completely reframes his understanding. He's been following this rational path, looking for blackmail.
And now this. Something deeply personal and strange.
Yes. And it's revealed through his own careful investigation, which keeps us, the readers, locked into his perspective, sharing his dawning horror.
So what's Utterson's immediate reaction? What does he think this means?
His mind immediately leaps to the most logical, albeit shocking, criminal explanation he can grasp. His thought is, Henry Jekyll forged for a murderer.
He thinks Jekyll wrote the letter himself, pretending to be Hyde.
Yes. He concludes Jekyll forged the letter to cover Hyde's escape after the murder.
That's a huge accusation against his friend. To suspect him of forgery, of actively helping a killer.
It's a devastating conclusion for Utterson. It shifts Jekyll from a potential victim to an active accomplice in a serious crime. His loyalty is stretched to the absolute limit.
But notice, he still doesn't guess the truth. He thinks Jekyll forged for Hyde, not that Jekyll is Hyde.
Exactly. His rational mind can only go so far. Forgery is a crime he understands. The actual truth is still beyond his comprehension. It shows the limits of his Victorian worldview.
So this discovery ramps everything up. The theme of dishonesty goes from simple lies to potential criminal conspiracy.
And the theme of reputation is right there, too. The scandal, if this came out, of Dr. forging for a murderer would be catastrophic for Jekyll. Utterson understands the gravity of what he suspects.
So stepping back, what's the role of this chapter in the whole novel? How does it move the plot?
Well, it's a critical piece of the rising action. Absolutely crucial.
How so?
It effectively kills off the idea that Hyde has simply disappeared and Jekyll is free of him. That neat solution is exposed as a lie.
So it forces Utterson and us to look harder at Jekyll himself.
Precisely. The focus shifts squarely onto Jekyll's complicity, his secrets. The central conflict becomes less about finding Hyde and more about understanding Jekyll.
And the handwriting clue is the first real tangible link between them.
Yes, the first piece of physical evidence, even if Utterson misinterprets its true meaning initially, it advances the core mystery significantly, pointing towards the final revelation but keeping us guessing.
It shows that the horror isn't just external with Hyde, but internal within Jekyll.
Beautifully put. It suggests the real battleground is Jekyll's own soul, and he seems to be losing.
So the big question it leaves us with is, what on earth does Utterson do now? He suspects his friend forgery for a murderer.
Exactly. Where does he go from here? His world has been shaken.
Okay, let's try and sum up Chapter 5 then. Incident of the letter.
Right. So it throws us right into the aftermath of the Carew murder and puts Jekyll firmly under the spotlight of suspicion.
We see Jekyll's shocking physical and mental state, the sickness, the desperation showing the toll his secret is taking.
Then there's the letter incident. Jekyll claims it's from Hyde, proof he's gone.
But the story unravels quickly. The burnt envelope, Poole contradicting the delivery.
Which leads to Utterson's suspicion, and that suspicion explodes when Mr. Guest analyzes the handwriting.
The bombshell discovery. Jekyll's and Hyde's handwriting are basically the same, just slanted differently.
Leading Utterson to the horrifying but still incorrect conclusion, Henry Jekyll forged for a murderer. He thinks Jekyll is actively covering for Hyde.
So functionally, this chapter is pivotal in the rising action. It dismantles the simpler theories, like blackmail.
Yes, and it shifts the conflict inward, focusing the mystery onto Jekyll himself. The lines blur between victim and perpetrator. Is Jekyll enabling Hyde, or worse?
It complicates everything, deepens the suspense.
Massively. It lays the groundwork for the final revelation by giving us this concrete, physical link, the handwriting, while still holding back the full truth. It leaves you with this chilling sense of dread about Jekyll's true nature.
The horror is becoming much more about Jekyll's choices, his compromises.
Absolutely. The scientific ambition, the moral cost, it's all starting to surface.
So Utterson is left reeling with this terrible suspicion about forgery. How will this affect his investigation, his friendship?
We've seen Jekyll's desperation, but we still don't know the full story. What other secrets are hidden in that lab? What's the true cost of his experiment?
The tension is definitely mounting. We're heading towards something even more disturbing than the murder itself, aren't we?
It feels inevitable. The truth about Jekyll's secret is getting closer.
Thank you for joining us on this literary journey. Hit subscribe and share to become part of our AI-human collaboration where every listener helps shape future episodes.